everybody. Today we have gathered for this space for stock market ki charcha. Today we are going to talk about what exactly is happening in the stock market, what exactly is happening across the world, and how we should position ourselves in the stock market, और क्या करना चाहिए हमें अभी और क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, एंड दुनिया की मार्केट्स में क्या हो रहा है, यूरोप में क्या हो रहा है, क्रेडिट स्विस के साथ क्या हो रहा है. All of this we are going to discuss today, and at the end of it we are also going to discuss how we should position ourselves in the Indian stock market, and after that we will do some Q&A. So सबसे पहले let's uh, go back and see what has happened in the world में क्या हो रहा है, and why is it very important to analyze all of these things before you start to invest in any market, in the Indian market, in the US market, or anywhere else. So first of all, let's talk about Europe. What is happening in Europe? In Europe, here is the situation. Uh, Russia, which accounts for 40% of natural gas for Europe, has decided to cut off gas supplies on and off. Gazprom, for example, yesterday and day before yesterday, cut off its gas supplies to Italy. So what is happening is uh, uh, Europe, for about 50% of its electricity, depends on the natural gas that it gets. Now, as natural gas prices are shooting up to about 7, 8, 10x, what is happening is electricity prices across Europe are surging big time. Now, if electricity prices are surging big time, people are finding it very, very hard to pay off the electricity bills. So, what is happening? Because of this, discretionary spending in Europe is going down, and because of this, Europe is slowly and steadily heading into a recession. A big point is Europe is heading into a recession. Germany is already said that by 2023, by the start of 2023, we will start getting into a recession. तो ये पहली बात है कि यूरोप में एक रिसेशन आ चुका है. बहुत सारी यूरोपियन कंट्रीज रिसेशन में जा रही हैं. हमने देखा है कि ब्रिटेन ट्राई टू नेगेट दिस रिसेशन बाय डूइंग सम टैक्स कट्स, वो भी नहीं चला. तो नंबर वन, यूरोप इज इनटू अ रिसेशन. ब्रिटेन ने क्या करने की कोशिश की? बिकॉज लोगों के इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल्स वगैरह बढ़ रहे थे, तो दे ट्राई टू गिव सम मोर मनी टू पीपल बाय डूइंग सम टैक्स कट्स. तो अब टैक्स कट्स, ठीक है, टैक्स कट करो आप, पर टैक्स कट को फंड कौन करेगा? फंडिंग ऑफ टैक्स कट्स इज ऑल्सो वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो व्हाट हैपेंड इज, जब ये अनाउंस किया गया कि 40% टैक्स कट करेंगे, so people immediately started to think, how is the British government going to fund these tax cuts, and therefore that's why uh, a lot of sell off in the UK market really happened, because people were unsure कि क्या होगा UK market के अंदर, and उसकी वजह से बैंक ऑफ इंग्लैंड को वापस आके अपने टैक्स कट्स के लिए they had to print in fresh money into the UK market, because uh, the bonds were selling off in the UK market. So that's the second point that is there. That it is very very hard and very very uh, difficult for any of these European governments to do anything to save their economies from a recession. Okay, the second point. Now the third point is, let's talk about US. US, what is happening in US? In US, uh, it seems that the Fed is very much behind the curve, and Fed now wants to increase rates very very aggressively. Fed ने अभी 75 basis point का rate hike किया था. Now we are at 3.25% of repo rates. Now this is going to further increase. The Fed guidance is that there is going to be another 75 basis points increase, and after that we will see what really happens. So the point is that Fed is wanting to stop at no cost. There is a recession. Even if the risk of recession is there, the Fed will continue to keep hiking rates until it is satisfied that the inflation is well within the control of US Fed. So now what is happening? Now the real picture starts to come out. Real picture ये है, 2008 से लेके अब तक कभी भी हमने ये नहीं देखा कि क्या होता है जब इंटरेस्ट रेट्स 3.5-4% तक चले जाते हैं. Ever since 2008, we were living in a very low interest rate regime. Now we are moving towards a regime where interest rates have started to climb up to 3% and 4.5% or 5% by the end of uh, next year in the US. So इससे क्या हो रहा है? What is happening because of this? Because of this, a lot of investment banks which were uh, हाईली लेवरेज्ड, बहुत ज्यादा लेवरेज थे वो, उनके लिए चीप मनी का सोर्स जो है वो बंद हो गया है। एंड बिकॉज चीप मनी का सोर्स बंद हो गया है, नाउ दे आर फाइंडिंग दैट बिकॉज ऑफ देयर लेवरेज मार्जिन कॉल्स आना शुरू हो गए हैं। एंड मार्जिन कॉल्स जैसे आना शुरू हुए, दे डोंट हैव द लिक्विडिटी टू प्रोवाइड द मार्जिन कॉल्स, एंड देन एक्सीडेंट्स आर वेटिंग टू। फॉर एग्जांपल क्रेडिट स्विस के केस में यही बात है। व्हाट इज द केस ऑफ क्रेडिट स्विस? द केस ऑफ क्रेडिट स्विस इज, up it is a very over leveraged bank. Now as the value of bonds continues to go down because interest rates hike ho rahe hain, interest rates are getting hiked across Europe. uh, as interest rates continue to hike, bond yields continue to move down. As bond yields continue to move down, the brokers ask for more and more margin on the leverage that they have given. Now as the uh, brokers ask for more and more margins and the banks don't have money, there is a problem of solvency that comes. So ये problem हो रहा है. Of course, Credit Suisse बच जाएगा, Deutsche Bank बच जाएगा. The governments across in Switzerland or in Germany will pump in the money to protect all of these banks. That is not the important part. The important part is our systems are exposed. Uh, एक्सीडेंट कहीं ना कहीं हो सकता है। और अगर अच्छे से इन सेंट्रल बैंक्स ने अपने इन इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक्स को प्रोटेक्ट नहीं किया, तो एक बहुत बड़ा एक्सीडेंट हो सकता है। हावेवर इसके चांसेस थोड़े कम हैं, बिकॉज एवरीबॉडी नोज दैट कंटेजियन इफेक्ट होता है, इसके लिए दे हैव टू प्रोटेक्ट ऑल ऑफ देयर बैंक्स। दैट्स द सेकंड पॉइंट। सो क्रेडिट इश्यूज इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम राइट नाउ एट दिस स्टेज। We expect all of these banks, central banks of Switzerland or of, let's say, Germany, they will try to protect them, right? तो ये बात हुई क्रेडिट स्विस की। अब यूएस में क्या हो रहा है, यूएस की स्टॉक मार्केट में क्या हो रहा है, मैंने अभी बताया कि यूएस तो अब कहीं पे रुकेगा नहीं। यूएस तब तक नहीं रुकेगा जब तक इन्फ्लेशन कंट्रोल में नहीं आता है। और इससे एक ही चीज गारंटीड है कि रिसेशन आएगा यूएस के अंदर। कब आएगा, कैसे आएगा, क्या आएगा, that we have to see. That time will tell how a recession comes, how long the recession will last. However, the recession is for sure guaranteed, and that's what the market is reacting to. When 50% of Nasdaq has corrected more than 50%, so what is happening is markets are already have already anticipated a recession. कितना बड़ा रिसेशन आएगा ये मार्केट को भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है। कितना अग्रेसिवली फेड रेट हाई करेगा ये भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है मार्केट में अभी भी किसी को, राइट? दैट्स अबाउट द यूएस मार्केट। देन लेट्स कम आउट टू द चाइनीज मार्केट। अब चाइना में क्या हो रहा है? चाइना में ये चीज हो रही है कि the government has a zero COVID policy. Because the government has a zero COVID policy, the growth is slowing down in China. Because the growth is slowing down in China, the central bank is coming ahead and cutting rates. So चाइना में भी प्रॉब्लम है। तो अब यूरोप में प्रॉब्लम है, यूएस में प्रॉब्लम है, चाइना में प्रॉब्लम है। तो लेट्स कम टू इंडिया। अब इंडिया के बारे में बात करते हैं। इंडिया में 2018 से 2020 तक इकोनॉमी में बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स रहे। देयर वर मैसिव प्रॉब्लम्स इन द इंडियन इकोनॉमी ओवर द लास्ट 3-4 इयर्स। आप आईएलएफएस बोलो, डीएचएफएल बोलो, यस बैंक बोलो, सारे प्रॉब्लम्स थे। अब इसके बाद सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम आया कोविड-19 क्राइसिस। एज कोविड-19 क्राइसिस हिट द इंडियन इकोनॉमी, बैंकों के एनपीए सर्ज हो गए, इकोनॉमी स्लो डाउन हो गई, इकोनॉमी क्लोज डाउन हो गई और बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स हुए इंडियन इकोनॉमी को। नाउ व्हाट इज हैपनिंग? नाउ द इकोनॉमी हैज ओपनड अप, COVID is behind us, we are all vaccinated, and over the next 2 to 3 years, we will see the Indian economy do very, very well. So that's the third point that I wanted to make, that of all the economies across the world, we will find that the Indian economy is doing fantastically well, and it is the only economy which will show resilience when all other economies face a lot of problems. So now what do we have to do? Within the Indian markets, we have seen our market is about 10% from its 52-week high. So what are the sectors that we need to bet on? Simple बात है, domestic facing sectors के ऊपर जाना है। You should not be going into the IT sector, because again IT Europe or US related है, where there is a lot of problem that is going on. You have to go towards the domestic facing sectors. What are those domestic facing sectors? Then again I say banks, autos, specialty chemicals, then you go to the FMCG sector, then you go to the pharma sector to some extent, जहाँ पे अच्छे companies, quality franchises हैं, वहाँ पे आप जा सकते हो। एंड द रियल एस्टेट एंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर सेक्टर। इन सब सेक्टर्स के अंदर अगर आप जाओगे, देन यू विल फाइंड ओवर द नेक्स्ट 2 to 3 years यू विल डू एक्सेप्शनली वेल। अगर आप मेडल्स की तरफ जाओगे या अगर आप आईटी की तरफ जाओगे, यहाँ पे भी क्वालिटी फ्रेंचाइजेज अवेलेबल हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल ऑन द आईटी साइड ऑफ इट, वेरी हाई क्वालिटी फ्रेंचाइजीज आर अवेलेबल। हाउएवर, एज दुनिया में स्लो डाउन होगा, इन सब कंपनीज को प्रॉब्लम होगा। आपको डोमेस्टिक फेसिंग इकोनॉमी स्टॉक्स की तरफ जाना है, बहुत बहुत जरूरी है। अगर आप डोमेस्टिक फेसिंग इकोनॉमी स्टॉक्स में इन्वेस्ट करोगे तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा। यू विल गेट good returns over the next 2 to 3 years. If you go towards stocks which are not domestic in nature, you will find that lot of problems occur. So broadly, this is my outlook about the markets. uh, US, Europe, China, सब जगह प्रॉब्लम है। क्रेडिट सुइस और डॉइचे बैंक hopefully will not become a problem, but accidents are waiting to happen across Europe. That's the second point that is there. uh, Indian economy continues to be very strong, और ये डोमेस्टिक फेसिंग इकोनॉमी स्टॉक्स में अगर आप पैसे डालेंगे तो बेटर रहेगा। वी हैव पोजीशन आवरसेल्व्स देयर। आप लोग भी वहां पे पोजीशन करोगे अपने आप को, देन इट इज अ बेटर थिंग टू डू। ओके, so now I will stop here. I wanted to keep my intro to about 10 to 15 minutes. Now I will ask you, the audience, to ask questions. Anybody who has a question can request. I will unmute them and then they can go ahead and ask questions. Okay. Mandeep, I have made you as a speaker. Go ahead and ask a question. Mandeep, are you there?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, fine.
Fine, fine. बताओ।
एक चीज बताने
एक चीज
जाननी थी आपको कि
जाननी थी आपको
थोड़े दिन पहले मैंने अजय
कि
बग्गा सर की
थोड़े दिन
ट्वीट
पहले मैंने
पढ़ी
अजय
थी।
बग्गा सर की ट्वीट पढ़ी थी। थोड़ा यार आप थोड़ा सही से बोलोगे, आपका आवाज है ना क्लियर नहीं आ
अब आ रहा है?
अब आ रहा है? हाँ अब आ रहा है,
ओके।
बताइए।
थोड़े दिन पहले अजय बग्गा सर की
थोड़े दिन पहले अजय बग्गा सर की
ट्वीट पढ़ी थी कि
पढ़ी थी कि
2008 का जो मतलब मार्केट
2008
फॉल
का
हुआ,
जो मतलब मार्केट फॉल हुआ,
उस टाइम यूएस से ज्यादा अपना इंडियन
उस टाइम
मार्केट
यूएस
फॉल
से
हुआ था।
ज्यादा अपना
तो
इंडियन
इस
मार्केट
बार
फॉल हुआ था।
मतलब
तो
सेम
इस बार
पॉसिबिलिटी है क्या?
पॉसिबिलिटी है क्या? देखिए 2008 तो एक बहुत ही कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट चीज थी। 2008 में कंटेजियन था, 2008 में पैनिक था, और 2008 में बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स थे, राइट। उस टाइम पे इंडियन इकोनॉमी भी इतनी स्ट्रांग नहीं थी, स्ट्रांग थी बट इतनी स्ट्रांग नहीं थी जितनी आज है। टुडे द इंडियन इकोनॉमी इज वेरी वेरी स्ट्रांग। वी होल्ड $500 billion ऑफ फॉरेक्स रिजर्व्स। इतने हमारे पास कभी थे नहीं। इंडिया में मैन्युफैक्चरिंग भी स्टार्ट हो रहा है अब। वी आर ऑन द ब्रिंक ऑफ स्टार्टिंग मैन्युफैक्चरिंग। क्रेडिट ग्रोथ हो रहा है इंडिया के अंदर अभी। सो ओवरऑल आई फील दैट द इकोनॉमी इज वेरी वेरी स्ट्रांग। बगा सर राइट कह रहे हैं, बट आज की डेट में अगर आप देखोगे तो दुनिया में अगर कोई स्वीट स्पॉट है तो वो इंडिया है। मेरे हिसाब से 2018 से 22-21 तक जो हमने क्राइसिस फेस किया है इकोनॉमी के अंदर, सारा क्राइसिस अब क्लियर आउट होते हुए नजर आएगा। एंड होपफुली 22, 23, 24, 25 अच्छे साल रहेंगे बिफोर पैनिक, before poison seeps into the economy and there's a problem. So I don't think there's a problem in the Indian economy. In fact, economy facing companies are doing exceptionally.
ओके, वन मोर थिंग।
Okay, one more thing.
मेरी
हाँ
जो
पूछो पूछो।
मार्केट
मेरी
में जो
जो
इन्वेस्टमेंट स्ट्रेटेजी है
मार्केट में जो इन्वेस्टमेंट स्ट्रेटेजी है
वो आई एम
वो
डूइंग एसआईपी ऑफ स्टॉक। इज इट
डूइंग एसआईपी
राइट
ऑफ
मेथड
स्टॉक।
और
इज
नॉट?
इट
कैन यू
राइट मेथड
इलैबोरेट?
और नॉट? कैन यू इलैबोरेट? तो आप एसआईपी कर रहे हो, राइट? एसआईपी राइट मेथड है कि नहीं इन्वेस्ट करने का, ये पूछ
नहीं,
रहे हो आप, करेक्ट?
स्टॉक में मतलब
नहीं,
5
स्टॉक में मतलब
6 या 7 स्टॉक मैंने डिफाइन किए
6 या
हैं।
7 स्टॉक मैंने डिफाइन किए हैं।
और
See, it's you can also do a stock SIP. That's not a problem, but it all depends on what are the quality of the stocks, what are the sector they operate in,
ओके,
and obviously the future potential of those companies. स्टॉक में भी एसआईपी बहुत लोग करते हैं। ऑफ कोर्स जब आप एसआईपी करते हो उसके बाद म्यूचुअल फंड मैनेजर जो होता है वो एट द एंड ऑफ द डे स्टॉक्स में ही पैसे लगाता है, राइट? सो इट कैन प्रूव आउट टू बी अ वेरी गुड स्ट्रेटजी प्रोवाइडेड आपने रिसर्च किया हो कि जो भी आप स्टॉक्स होल्ड कर रहे हो वो सही है, अच्छे है कि नहीं।
श्योर श्योर। और
Sure, sure. और
Next go. Okay. I
Next go. I
think.
Okay, Mandeep, let me come back to you.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
Kshitij, you can go ahead and ask. Sure.
Hello, thank you for giving me a
Hello,
chance.
thank you for giving me a chance.
Can I ask a
Yes,
mutual
please
fund
go ahead.
question?
Can I ask a mutual fund question? Can you ask her?
Mutual fund.
Mutual fund. Yes, please go ahead.
I want to know, like in
I
India,
want to know, like in India,
if we invest before 2 p.m., we
if we
get the
invest
full day
before 2
energy.
p.m., we get the full day energy.
But if we
Satish,
want to,
one second.
Yes, but
Aditya,
if we want to,
Aditya, one
Aditya,
of you
one of
needs
you
to
needs
mute.
to mute. One second. Kshitij, can you go ahead and ask? I am on mute. Kshitij, Kshitij. Okay. Veere, please go ahead and ask your question. Kshitij has muted himself. You guys need to please unmute yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
yeah.
it
I mean,
was
yeah, it
echoing.
was echoing. Yeah, please go ahead now.
Aditya, it is still
Aditya, it is
echoing.
still echoing. No, my voice is echoing. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, when I
Yes,
speak,
when I
right,
speak, right, it is.
you need to mute.
You can speak. I
Okay,
will
so
place myself.
okay, yeah, yeah. So, like, I wanted to know your view on the IT sector as a whole, and then I think recently, I think yesterday or something, day before yesterday, there was some CDS news, like the what happened to Lehman Brothers, right? So I think they have given some different fancy name,
Hello.
like CDS, but I think it is more of a same thing what happened at 2008, right?
Okay, let me answer the IT part of it. These IT companies are brilliant companies. All of them are very good companies. But what is happening is their valuation got inflated over the last 1.5 2 years, and the demand was assumed to be super normal over the next 3 4 5 years, and that was the sort of valuation that was given. Now what is happening is that the supernormal demand is not turning out. In fact, in Europe and US, we will go into a recession. So what is happening, that supernormal demand is coming off into a normal demand, and also to some extent cooling off of demand. So what I feel is over the next 2 to 3 years, there is a possibility that IT companies may not grow as expected, and it is too early to say that if the IT companies have bottomed out or not. Of course, these are very class franchises and will be a good opportunity to buy these companies. However, I am not so sure right now at this stage that these companies have bottomed out. Still, a little bit of more incoming data is required, which will come in uh, by this quarter or the next quarter, which will tell us what is happening on the IT side. On the IT side of things. The first point. The second point on the CDS credit default swap. What is happening is uh, Credit Suisse has a over leveraged position in a lot of derivatives that is out there. Now, what is happening is because the bond prices are falling across Europe, because interest rates are rising, the brokers are demanding more margin from Credit Suisse, and it is not able to give that margin to a lot of people. So, what people are betting on the fact is that Credit Suisse might default. However, I don't see that kind of situation coming in. I think that the Swiss National Bank has got a lot of money that they will be able to save, or some sort of a roadmap will be worked out where Credit Suisse will go through, and there will not be a problem as such. So, right now, we are not at that stage as a contagion was in 2008. However, a lot of investment banks across Europe and US are deeply over leveraged, and we are entering a very uncertain phase where we have not seen this kind of tightening ever, ever since 2008, and we don't know what really happens. No fund manager ever has seen this kind of tightening, uh, at least in this decade, and we don't know how the markets will behave.
Thanks, Aditya.
Hello, Aditya, are you listening me? Hello. Hello. Yeah, Raj, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, my question is that can you let me, if you possible, can you let me know what all the leverage position this Credit Suisse has taken in India? I mean, which are the companies or which are the sectors this investment bank like this Credit Suisse and the Deutsche Bank has taken over in the India? So we can at least you have give me some idea or some sectors where they are big bet in India. So if these banks go some kind of uh, I mean to say kind of bankruptcy or anything, so we can have little bit idea, so we can get out those sectors or those companies in India. That's my question. Thank you.
No, so these banks generally don't operate in India. They operate in Europe and uh, they operate in Europe and United States. They operate in highly collateralized securities. So what they do is they will give loan to somebody and then package it up as a security and sell it to a third party, which will then again sell it to a fourth party. So ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा complex derivative products होते हैं. That's the first point. The second point is what people are saying is that uh, बिकॉज क्रेडिट स्विस के पास पैसे नहीं है, क्रेडिट स्विस बहुत ओवर लेवरेज्ड है, इन लोन्स की सर्विसिंग जो है उसमें प्रॉब्लम आ सकता है एंड मल्टीपल पार्टीज कैन गेट इन्वॉल्व्ड एंड कैन गेट हिट विद defaults. That is so what is happening is uh, these banks don't operate in India, but the problem is अगर कंटेजियन होता है तो कंटेजियन हर जगह होगा, इंडिया में भी होगा, यूएस में भी होगा, यूरोप में भी होगा. बट 2008 से जो हमने सीखा है वो ये है कि लीमन ब्रदर्स फेल हो गया, उसके बाद कोई भी बैंक फेल नहीं हुआ, बिकॉज सबको समझ में आ गया कि अगर फेल होता है कोई बैंक तो बहुत बड़ा कंटेजियन इफेक्ट होता है. इसलिए मैंने बार बार कहा ये एक प्रॉब्लम है जो बाहर निकल के आ रही है, बट इसको डील किया जाएगा. स्विस नेशनल बैंक के पास बहुत पैसे हैं, स्विट्जरलैंड में 10 से 20 बिलियन डॉलर वो दे सकती है, या फिर एक सोल्यूशन वर्कआउट किया जा सकता है जिससे क्रेडिट स्विस की प्रॉब्लम्स जो है वो कुछ टाइम के लिए छुप जाए ताकि वी कैन मूव अहेड. सो फॉर मी it's a problem, but it's not something that we cannot deal with at this stage. Right, Varun, go ahead and ask your question, please.
Thank you, Aditya. Thank you so much for the
Thank you,
opportunity.
Aditya. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
I wanted to ask you on your thoughts on the Z and the Sony merger. Of late, there have been a lot of back and forth between CCI and Sony and Z, right? There are talks that even Z may look at shutting down some general entertainment channels just to comply with or get a nod from CCI, right? I just wanted to hear from you, how are you thinking about this on the deal, and what is your sense on the probability of this deal going through with clearance from CCI?
Yeah, I have not studied this deal properly through, so I will not be able to comment here. Yeah, if I don't have an expertise on something, I better not speak on it. That's my view on it. So I had lost track of this deal when the deal had happened. Now I have not studied it properly, so will not be able to comment on it.
No worries. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody who wishes to ask a question can go ahead and request themselves as a speaker.
Uh, Sorry, Aditya, one more question from my side.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, it's on Poonawalla Finance, right?
Yeah.
You've seen that ever since the merger that has gone through, the cost of borrowings for them has massively decreased.
Hmm.
So how do you think about their competitive edge versus other embassies, NBFCs, and the road
Yeah,
ahead?
their cost of I study Poonawalla FinCorp every quarter. Their cost of borrowing has gone down partly because the repo rates have gone down. Right now, the real test for NBFCs will start when the liquidity continues to keep drying. They cannot get deposits, and they have to go and either raise bonds or either go and ask banks for money. The real challenge starts now. Point number one. Point number two is under the new management, we have already seen what happened to Poonawalla FinCorp when SEBI came and removed the MD of the company. Now you don't know what is the quality of the management. Point number three is it was Magma FinCorp. Now it is Poonawalla FinCorp. We don't know the seasoning of the book. The seasoning of the book is not clearly known. It is
Right.
always known 5-7 years down the line when one NPA cycle has already turned out. NBFCs don't have a competitive edge. Let's be very clear about it. Banks have a sharp competitive edge in the cost of funds that they really run. NBFCs don't have such cost advantage on them. So again, you have to be very careful. You have to think. Uh, you have to let the book season out. Of course, yeah, this is a credit down cycle to up cycle, so everybody will make money. Not as if that Poonawalla will not make money. Every damn bank or everybody will make money because of the fact that the credit cycle is very strong. But some years down the line, when the NPA start to come out for everybody, that is the real time when you will see what is the quality of the book.
Thank you. Very
Thank you.
insightful.
Very insightful.
Can I ask?
Can I ask? Yes, go ahead. Who's it?
Okay.
Can you introduce,
Uh,
can you introduce
SBI
yourself?
card related एक question था.
Yeah.
कि डिस्पाइट इतना सारा ग्रोथ है एसबीआई कार्ड का, फिर भी जो स्टॉक मूवमेंट होनी चाहिए वो उतना नहीं हो रहा है. तो इसका एक रीजन सीएसपी है या और कोई आपका ओपिनियन चाहिए?
Yeah, on SBI cards, I just don't really understand why should you want to own just a pure play credit card company. It takes a lot of risk on the balance sheet. I generally don't like to own just a credit card company. Why don't you go ahead and own a bank? Owning a bank is far better. That's the first point. The second point is today there's a credit card data that has come out, and in that data I have seen that is SBI cards has also lost market share. ICICI Bank has also lost market share. Only HDFC Bank has gained market share among these, and Kotak, which is starting to become very aggressive. So, what is the need to go ahead and buy SBI cards is something that I don't really understand. It's a highly risky business to own. Uh, अभी तो credit down cycle से up cycle में जा रहे हैं तो ठीक है, but when the credit cycle changes, you will find that they are faced with a lot of NPAs. So, the point being that it is very difficult for me to understand why should you try to own the business, not commenting on the stock price. However, the business will do exceptionally well over the next 2 to 3 years as we go from down cycle to an up cycle.
Okay, thank you. One more question. Can I ask?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay, related to Bajaj Finserv.
Bajaj
बजाज
Finserv.
बजाज फिनसर्व की अभी भी उसमें इतना पोटेंशियल ग्राउंड लेवल पे तो मैं देख रहा हूँ. आपका ओपिनियन उसके रिगार्डिंग?
Bajaj Finserv, according to me, gets a lot of its value from Bajaj Finance. And of course, Bajaj Finance is the market leader in NBFC, and they will continue to do exceptionally well over the period of next 2 to 3 years. So I don't see a problem for them. Of course, the valuation is insane on Bajaj Finance. So you will have to take a view there. But I don't look at Bajaj Finserv as an insurance play because there are better insurance play available in both life insurance as well as general insurance.
And what about Bajaj Finance?
बोला ना मैंने अभी बजाज फाइनेंस के बारे में ही बोल रहा था.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nitesh, you can go ahead and ask a question, please.
Hi Aditya. What's your view on real estate sector for next decade?
Very positive view on real estate sector. Over the last 3 or 4 years, a lot of problems of the real estate sector have come to light. For example, the developer crisis, the NBFC crisis, which led to developer crunch in funding. Over the last 10 years, we have not seen real estate prices appreciate even a little bit. Now, what we are seeing is real estate demand is picking up. In fact, today, HDFC Limited reported its numbers, and it has reported 28% growth in its loans sold to HDFC Bank, which is a very good number to have. Now, housing demand is at uh, a 1 decade high. The demand is very high. All housing and housing related ancillaries should do exceptionally well. In fact, HDFC Limited reported 50% growth in its loan book, the highest disbursal it has ever seen in its lifetime history. So I see the real estate sector has bottomed out. All real estate stocks, as well as the real estate ancillary companies, should do exceptionally well from here on. you have to choose on which horse to bet on.
Thank you.
Thanks. So who was the other one? Prashant. Prashast, you can go and ask a question.
Yeah, hi, Aditya. Very good evening.
Hi. Good evening.
Yeah, I wanted to get your opinion on the fertilizer and agrochemical sector. Over the past 2 years, we have seen the COVID effect, the high input cost inflation. So I think in the Indian context, considering the exports, we have managed, what do you say, the input cost pressures pretty well. And we have seen the agrochemicals as well as the companies in fertilizer sector. They have been able to clear up their balance sheets pretty well. So are they entering a new cycle, or again, since the natural gas is the prices are getting subdued by the passing day?
No. So I have a positive view on the fertilizer and the agrochemical space. However, you will find that the prices have not bottomed out for what do you call this? The natural gas. In fact, natural gas prices have gone up 40% this quarter, uh, for the 6 months starting October to March. And you will find in March, if the Russia-Ukraine war does not settle down, the natural gas prices will go further up, which is absolutely negative for this sector, because one of the main raw materials for fertilizers and agrochem sector is natural gas. That's the first one. Having said that, I don't see a reason why we should not be very positive on this sector. However, you have to take into account of the government is a very big player in this sector, and a lot of problems arise and start from whatever happens with the government. So that's one thing that you need to keep monitoring. However, there are very good companies out there as well, which have created wealth over the last 2 to 3 years. You have to monitor them and see if you can get them at a good valuation.
Cheers, Aditya.
Thanks. Deepak, you can go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yeah, hi sir. Just wanted to know one thing. What exactly is the issue with credit suits and how does it work? And see, if this situation goes worse, I mean, what will be the impact in India, Indian market basically?
यार मैंने बताया, देखो क्रेडिट स्क्वीज क्या है. इफ क्रेडिट स्क्वीज हैज $1, इट बोरोज $9 ऑन इट. ठीक है.
Okay.
और फिर वो उसके ऊपर डेरिवेटिव ट्रेड करते हैं.
Okay.
ठीक है. नाउ द प्रॉब्लम इज वो $1 का जो कोलैटरल उन्होंने दिया हुआ है उसकी वैल्यू नीचे जा रही है, बिकॉज बॉन्ड प्राइसेस आर गोइंग डाउन अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड.
Right.
ठीक है. बिकॉज एज इंटरेस्ट रेट्स गो अप, bond prices go down. There's an inverse relationship between interest rates and bond prices.
Right.
Now what is happening is, as bond prices go down and the margins जो उन्होंने दे रखे हैं अपने brokers को, वो नीचे जा रहे हैं. So they are asking, brokers are asking for more margins now.
Right.
Now, because brokers are asking for more margins, these banks don't have that kind of money to eke out that margin. There is a problem now, right?
Yes.
Now there's a problem. How are they going to meet up these margins, right?
Yes.
So then what happens is, these leveraged position, तभी मार्केट में कहा जाता है कि FNO मत किया करो.
Right.
क्यों कहा जाता है? अगर leverage position wrong हो जाती है तो बहुत सारे पैसे देने पड़ते हैं.
Correct.
Right? So that's the whole problem with credit suisse. What will happen? Uh, the CEO has written a big letter that they're going to restructure, blah 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 blah.
Right.
But all investment banks are like that. All investment banks are deeply over leveraged. Nothing has changed after 2008. Just that Credit Suisse is coming out with the problem. Next one is Deutsche Bank. Because all of this is happening for one simple reason. 2008 के बाद हमने कभी भी ऐसा फेज नहीं देखा जब इंटरेस्ट रेट्स 3% यूएस में थे. अब है. Now from 3% the US Fed is saying I will move to 4.5%. I don't mind moving there until unless the inflation comes under control. This means I will get a recession.
Correct.
पहले जीरो इंटरेस्ट रेट पे आपको पैसे मिल रहे थे, आप कहीं से भी उठा के पैसे कहीं पे भी डाल रहे थे, बिकॉज इंटरेस्ट रेट जीरो है.
Right.
Now that's not the case. Now you have to pay 3.5%, 4%, whatever it is, right?
Yes.
So we are entering a very uncertain phase where over the last decade हमने नहीं देखा है कि क्या होगा. Things can go wrong. Accidents are waiting to happen across Europe and US.
Okay.
अब कहाँ पे एक्सीडेंट होगा, कौन सी सेंट्रल बैंक बचाएगी? सेंट्रल बैंक्स बचाएगी इन सब बैंक्स को, बिकॉज वो अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते दीज इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक्स फेल, बिकॉज इट विल हैव अ कंटेजियन इफेक्ट व्हिच वी हैव ऑलरेडी सीन इन 2008. The mistake of not protecting Lehman Brothers and the entire world system collapsed. So there will be no shock as 2008. However, central banks will have to spend a lot of money to protect all of these banks, which don't change, don't learn any time from the mistakes that they have made before. Now, again, to your question, what will happen on the Indian economy? See, Indian economy is very strong. इंडिया की इकोनॉमी को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है इससे, राइट? इंडिया के सिस्टम के अंदर कोई ऐसे बैंक्स नहीं हैं जो कि इतना ओवर लेवरेज्ड हैं जिनके फेलियर होने से प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा, ठीक है? We've been through Yes Bank, we've been through RBL Bank, we've been through a lot over the last 3-4 years. But on the market side of it, on the stock market side of it, if things go wrong in Europe and US, will the Indian markets be affected? Absolutely yes. हर मार्केट दुनिया की इफेक्ट होगी अगर कुछ प्रॉब्लम होता है तो, ठीक है? On the economy side of it, we are doing fairly well. इकोनॉमी में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, वो सबसे बड़ी बात ये है. इकोनॉमी और स्टॉक मार्केट दो डिफरेंट चीज है. इकोनॉमी अच्छी है, कोई बात नहीं. स्टॉक मार्केट आज गिरा है, कोई बात नहीं, कल वापस आ जाएगा. Right? So that's what is happening across Credit Suisse, and that's what is uh, that's the whole problem. But I don't think it will be a very big problem. But it needs to be noted that interest rates ऊपर जा रहे हैं और problem है interest rate के ऊपर जाने से.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you, sir.
Aditya, I have a question on this thing.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, I don't know much, but I think it is just a basic insurance against a loan, right? CDS.
What is credit default swap? Credit default swap is companies buy protection. For example, I am Credit Suisse. People are betting that Credit Suisse will default, and that's what a credit default swap really is. That if you're not going to default, you don't need to buy an insurance for your company that you will default. But what is happening is, in Credit Suisse case, the credit default swap, which means that will Credit Suisse default or not, is trading at a tremendously high value, which means that investors are betting at some point in time Credit Suisse will go bankrupt because of its over leveraged positions and inability to service the over leveraged positions, right? So that's the whole point, that a credit default swap is showing investors are betting. Credit Suisse has not defaulted as of now. Investors are betting on the fact that Credit Suisse may default at some point in time, and that's what the stock price is also showing when it is down 62% over the last 1 year.
Okay, so basically the default is on the insurance claim, right?
No. So what is happening is कोई कंपनी अगर डिफॉल्ट नहीं करेगी, ठीक है, तो आप बहुत ही कम इंश्योरेंस कंपनी, अगर आप इंश्योरेंस खरीदोगे उसका तो बहुत कम प्राइस में आपको मिल जाएगा, ठीक है. बट अगर कोई कंपनी डिफॉल्ट करने के बहुत ज्यादा चांसेस हैं उसको, तो व्हाट विल इट डू? व्हाट विल द इंश्योरेंस कंपनी से? आई वांट वेरी हाई प्रीमियम बिकॉज आई थिंक दैट द कंपनी में डिफॉल्ट. So this is exactly what is happening with Credit Suisse on a default swap, on a swap which says that Credit Suisse will not default. The price is very very high because insurance companies are not sure. Insurance companies, other investment banks are not sure that will Credit Suisse default or not default. So what the market is saying to Credit Suisse is, we are not sure whether you will default or not default, and that's why we are charging a very high premium for guaranteeing that you will default or not. So basically, market's way of saying we are not sure of you defaulting or not. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
PK Gupta, please go ahead.
So just one question about the investment.
Can you please
what I've-
speak clearly?
Yeah,
Can you
can you
please
hear me
speak a
now?
little bit louder, please?
Is it better now?
Yeah, better now. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So my question here is, what I've done is on the investment part. Initially, I was doing 25% of my monthly income. I was diverting into stock, PPF, and mutual funds in the percentage wise, when direct equity is 50% and 30% is mutual fund, and then remaining is PPF and pension plan. But what I've done effective last month,
I have stopped investing in stocks. Basically, I've dropped it down to 10 to 15%,
Okay.
and majority of the portion I'm diverting it to ETFs, and I've increased my PPF pension amount, not pension amount, PPF amount as well. And this is, I think, I'm going to do it until I find the bottom, which will take almost 6 to 7 months in the Indian economy. Let me know if my uh, observation is correct and the strategy is correct or not.
See, let me be very clear. You are trying to time the market or bottom the market up. That, according to me, is not a very good strategy for retail investors. Point number one, asset allocation is very, very important. Asset allocation market के views में change नहीं होता है. Tactical asset allocation change होता है. ठीक है. Strategically asset allocation जो आपका होना चाहिए, you should stick to that asset allocation. Markets अपना up down करते रहेंगे, right? As I said to you, markets may not correct in India because the Indian economy is strong, or the markets may correct in India because the worldwide markets are correcting. But as a retail investor, it is not your job to predict what the market does day to day. What your job day to day is stick to your asset allocation. जो भी आपका asset allocation है, maybe 50% equities, 40% debt है, या फिर 70% equities, 30% debt है, what that you have to decide. But changing your asset allocation with respect to the movement of the market is not a great strategy and is not a very disciplined strategy for the long term. You have to be very, very disciplined. अगर आपको स्ट्रेटेजिकली थोड़ा बहुत चेंज करना है 5% कर सकते हो आप. लॉन्ग टर्म एसेट एलोकेशन को चेंज नहीं करना है. You should revisit and think about think about what is your asset allocation, and then revisit and make your choices.
Got it. Got my answer. Thanks, Ajit.
Yeah. Who was the one
Can I ask?
wanted to ask? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, related to HDFC Bank. लास्ट 2 साल से मतलब कंपेयर करें अगर दूसरी प्राइवेट बैंक के तो स्टॉक का मूवमेंट, तो एचडीएफसी में ऐसा कोई स्पेसिफिक रीजन है कि मूवमेंट जो स्टॉक का है उससे
HDFC के ऊपर हैंगओवर है मर्जर का. The merger hangover is there for HDFC Bank, which is not going to clear at least until the next 6-12 months. And because of that, the stock price is not giving return.
ओके, थैंक यू. एक वन पर्सनल क्वेश्चन. एक थ्रेड आपका था पढ़ा था फ्रॉम बीइंग मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर टू करंट इन्वेस्टमेंट तक का. तो एनी स्पेसिफिक कुछ इंसिडेंस हुआ था कि बैंकिंग में आपका इतना इंटरेस्ट हुआ या फिर कोई अलग अगर पॉसिबल है तो आप बता सकते हैं.
No, so I have been invested in Kotak Bank since about 10 years time now, and I've made a lot of money in Kotak Bank. And banking मुझे अच्छे से आता है. I'm very interested in banking, and that's my area of specialization. So वहाँ पे I wanted to work. So वही है और कुछ नहीं.
ओके, थैंक यू.
And Manish ji, you can ask your question. And Manish ji, you need to unmute yourself and ask your question.
So my query is on general insurance companies. What is the prospect of the sector, and particularly for ICICI Lombard after Bharti Exa? So long term service 10-15 साल के लिए इसके इंश्योरेंस प्लस शायद आप ICICI Lombard के बारे में बोल सकते हो.
So long term, the view is very positive on the entire insurance pack view, be it the life insurance or be it the general insurance. Very simple, because financialization of savings is something that we need to concentrate on. There was an article just recently which said that out of 10 Indians, at least 8 Indians are not insured and have to take loans to pay off their hospital debts if they need to admit somebody to the hospital. So, in my view, very positive on this space. very limited choices available. There are only ICICI Lombard and Star Health available as of now, and Bajaj Finserv, which is not a pure play or general insurance company. So very limited choices are available. However, overall positive on this space, and we will see in the future many more companies get listed. Right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Anybody who has a question can unmute yourself or ask themselves as a speaker. Okay.
Yeah. Can I have just one
हाँ
question?
मैम last question from you. बताओ.
Yeah. So, which sector do you see the in India, in the Indian perspective, that will outperform the other sector?
Which sector? Sorry, which sector?
In Indian perspective, which sector do you see that will outperform the other sectors?
यार डोमेस्टिक फेसिंग सेक्टर्स है सारे एफएमसीजी ऑटोज बैंक्स ये सब तो लाइफ टाइम हाई बना रहे हैं बैंक इज मेकिंग अ लाइफ टाइम हाई banks some banks will make a lifetime high it's not exactly at the lifetime high but banks will lead the market autos are making a lifetime high so these are all the sectors that you need to concentrate on autos बोलो real estate बोलो infra बोलो ये इन सब sectors पे concentrate करना है okay hey Krish you can ask your question.
Any views on Bajaj Finance or Chola Finance kind of NBFCs, domestic focus?
News. What do you mean by news? Then news
No,
is
I mean, do you think so? It's a good time to
view. Okay, you're saying asking for a view. Okay, NBFCs. As financials go from a down cycle to up cycle, all companies will do exceptionally well, including the NBFCs. Bajaj Finance is a brilliant company. However, the valuations extremely difficult on Bajaj Finance. So you have to be very careful on the valuation side of it. Other than that, these companies will do exceptionally well over the period of next 3 to 5 years. The whole of NBFC pack will do exceptionally well over the period of next 3 to 5 years. Okay. Arjun, you can go ahead and ask a question.
Hi, sir. I have a question regarding I have exposure of IDFC First Bank through IDFC Limited. So, what's your view of management, whether they will give dividend and for AMC cell and regarding merger also, your views?
Yeah, the dividend is something that I will not be able to comment on. But pure play, again, a financial services company, again, a bank which is led by a brilliant leader called V. Vaidyanathan. Uh, will the bank do exceptionally well in the period of next 3 to 5 years? All financials will do exceptionally well over the period of next 3 to 5 years. Not a problem as such. V. Vaidyanathan is some great leadership out there. You will have to monitor how the NPAs work out over the period of next 3 to 5 years. However, I don't see a challenge for him to scale up. The scope of the opportunity is huge. So that's not really a problem as such.
So is it okay to have exposure through IDFC Limited or directly will be better?
I will not be able to give you stock advice, but मैंने बता दिया है generally कि company क्या करेगी.
Okay, thank you.
Karan, you can go ahead and ask your question. Karan, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Sir, I want to know about Canfin Homes fall.
On what? Sorry?
Canfin Homes fall. Why did it fail so sharply?
Okay. So on Canfin Homes, again, it's a good company, not a problem as such. However, there were some frauds that had come up in the recent months, and there was an MD CEO resignation from Canfin Homes, and that's why the stock had fallen a little bit out there. But I don't see a problem as such in the company, other than the fact that it's a PSU company.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Shishirji, go ahead. Shishirji, you can ask your question, please.
Yeah, hi Aditya. Thanks a lot for this session. So my question is along the
Yeah.
line, if someone wants to play the banking field, what would your suggestion be? Like, should they go with a financial focused fund or individual stock?
See, if you have the ability to analyze stocks, then you should only then you should go to direct equity. If you're not able to analyze funds, then banking and financial services fund is good. Banking and financial small case, as we run it, that's also good. It depends on you. What do you want to do? But have exposure to financials, and if you don't want that, what you can do is buy a flexi cap fund, which is already taking exposure to financial services, to banks. Top buyers of flexi cap funds these days are financial services, so you can take exposure from there as well.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Atim, please go ahead and ask your question. Atim, you can go ahead and ask your question. Vinodji, you can ask your question.
Hello.
Hi.
Question was, there are some people who are comparing that IDFC First Bank is going to the mixture of fintech and the normal banking. Something of the mixture of Bajaj Finance and their top tier banks. So, what are your thoughts about?
See, I have heard Vivadinathan today as well, and he's right that technology needs to take a front seat on all of these banks, and he's trying to use technology to his advantage as well. Some of the investments that IDFC First Bank has done are also very, very good. However, banking is a long, long game. He has just started off his innings. अभी तो ये टेस्ट मैच है और अभी लोग इसको T20 की तरह ट्रीट कर रहे हैं. It's a long, long way to go. He just started off. अभी तो NPA की सीजनिंग होगी, प्रॉब्लम्स बड़े सारे आएंगे. He will have to prove himself. I believe he's a very good leader. He's very good at heart, but running a bank is not a very easy job, and he will have to be given time without the spotlight on him, so that he's able to perform really well. But the opportunity size is strong. Uh, Not a problem as such. We will now have to wait and see how he delivers on the promises that he's making. I believe he can do it. However, the road will not be easy.
I have one follow-up question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
His media appearances seem to be too much in compared to the other bank CEOs and the management. So is it a negative thing? Also, his focus on valuation and my bank should be worth this much. I mean, no other bank is comparing it. Give me this much valuation or that.
Well, I've been invested in with Uday Kotak for about 12 years, and now Uday Kotak never said that I have an NPA target of 2%, or talking about this kind of a valuation. He just talked about what made sense in the business, and that I will leave it there.
Okay, thank you.
Ravi, please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Aditya.
Good evening.
Yeah, Aditya, my question is that I am investing in flexi cap funds and in large cap. So it is okay for me for long term, or should I continue only flexi cap funds?
See, Ravi, I have written about this. The large cap active funds are of no use. So whatever your risk profile is, I don't think that you should be invested in large cap active funds. Rather than large cap active funds, index funds make more sense. Again, on flexi cap funds are good. You have to see which flexi cap fund you are invested in. That's the second point. And again, all the risk depends on what is your risk profile. If you have a decent amount of risk profile, then flexi cap funds are a good option.
No, I have 5 to 10 years
Sorry, you
long-term
have?
planning. 10 years long planning, no issue.
Okay. Flexi cap funds are good funds to have, not a problem. You just have to choose the right ones and you're done with it. Not a problem as such.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. Vinodji, do you want to unmute yourself, or Karan, you want to unmute yourself?
Yes,
Hi.
sir. Okay.
Okay, one of you, please. Okay, Vinodji, go ahead.
Hi, sir. My query regarding retail sector. I am interested in investing in retail sector, but these valuations are such a large case, like more than 100 and above. How to analyze these sector stocks? Can you guide me
Of course,
about
the
it?
valuations across the FMCG sector continue to remain expensive. They will be expensive over the next 4 5 years as well. But there are some smaller companies where there's good potential. You can find them up and invest in them. Otherwise, if you find the valuations to be too expensive, you can stay out of the sector. But it is true that the valuations across the FMCG sector are not very cheap. They're extremely expensive. That's the first point. The uh, second point is there's small companies available where sectors are cheap.
What about like Titan or AB, Aditya Birla fashion?
Again, Titan is an expensive stock. It's a great company, but a very expensive stock. So you have to take on board. I don't have a view on Aditya Birla Fashion because I don't track the company.
Yeah, thank you.
So yes,
Was it
sir.
Karan?
Yeah. I was asking about, so as a student, how can I get deep knowledge about this banking business, how lending is done?
Yeah, today there's so many resources available. Back when we started, there was nothing available. Today there are transcripts available. Today managements come and talk to TV channels. Annual reports are available. Research report, brokerage reports are available. So many things that you can study, by which you can get knowledge. Uh, Past transcripts are the best ways to read up on companies because past transcripts tell you a lot about what the banks did when there was a problem.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I got my. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Okay. So thanks a lot, everybody, for joining in. It was a great space, and look forward to doing a lot more spaces. Uh, this week we will do a space on mutual funds, where we discuss how to buy mutual funds and the parameters that you want to see before buying them, and then one on term health insurance or life insurance, where we discuss if you have got a LIC life insurance, what you have to really do. Okay. So thanks a lot for joining into the space. Uh, Hope to see you in a lot more space where we spread financial awareness. Thanks a lot.